Hey everybody, welcome to FN's Downtown Studios. I am John Ramdeen alongside Robin Black and former lightweight champion Rafael dos Anjos, done with 155 pounds. I don't know if he's done for the time being, but he says, I'm moving up. I'm taking a page out of Cerrone's book and moving up to 170 pounds. Do you think this is a good move for him?
Well, he beat Cerrone.
Yeah.
And Cerrone has beat
Hellion.
4 dudes, finished them at 170. Never looked better. Never, ever looked better, man. Really unbelievable. And I keep picking against him. I keep thinking, this time will be different. But he just keeps blowing through these guys.
Masvidal.
But Masvidal gonna beat you this time, cowboy. He is doing good.
He's gonna be watching. He's gonna give you the gears.
Donald watches our show.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, man. That's really cool. We really appreciate it. But he does. He hates me. When we see him in the thing, so you shouldn't have picked against me. So now I'm sort of doing it just for fun. We love you, Donald Cerrone. We do. But man, am I getting way off topic. So RDA is not Donald Cerrone, because he's like 5'7", 5'8".
But he's
wide.
wide.
He said, well, you know, I'm 190 or whatever, and it's way too tough. Dude, you're 5'8". You got, I mean, he may do very well. He may well do.
Gas to limit 185 pounds?
Unreal. So this 100% can be done. But often, what a guy will do if he's like, well, I'm a 5'9" lightweight, it's really tough making lightweight, lose some weight. Lose some muscle. I'm not talking about cutting weight. I'm not talking about saunas. I'm talking about a healthy way to lose weight that includes losing a touch of muscle to become a smaller man to fight at 155 pounds. The other option, screw it. I like being muscular and heavy and I'll fight higher up. He may do very well. He's an incredibly talented guy. He is a bit of that prototype that was winning and dominating, that moving forward heavy because he was so good on the ground and he wasn't afraid to do it, using pressure to get you backing up to throw heavy power combinations. People have figured out how to exploit that. And Alan Jouban wants that fight, and Alan Jouban is exactly the kind of guy to fight. If RDA is the old RDA, we saw him against Platinum Perry, and that was the game. Perry's a pressure guy. I'm going to move around and beat you up from the outside. And so he's the right guy to do it, but has RDA evolved? These fighters are evolving so quickly, RDA can do it. When
you think about that fight, the Mike Perry and the Alan Jouban fight, and if you imagine it was RDA in there, you'd be seeing angles. You wouldn't be seeing this guy just moving forward, eating kicks and punches all day long that we saw Mike Perry eat in that fight with Jouban. What would be the difference for RDA in that fight?
Good point. As you come in, Perry's coming in not an entirely straight line, but the momentum of using his hip to fire those hooks and overhands brings him in like this. And RDA moves in on different angles, steps out wide. We called it keeping you in the headlights. As a car has wide headlights, the further you are from there, the wider those headlights get, the closer. It's small little steps outside. So RDA will create better angles to fight, but the advantage, if there is one, for the handsome one, Alan Jouban, is that his nickname? I think it should be the handsome one, Alan Jouban. The advantage for him is he just got to run it through, and let's say if there was such a belt system, Perry was a purple belt in pressure fighting. RDA is now a black belt. So he got to experience at a lower level, fine-tune it, work that game, and now apply it against Rafael dos Anjos. It's a fight that makes sense, and dos Anjos can go out and show. I mean, most of these guys are cutting too much weight, so your options go up or lose the weight, not cut the weight, lose the weight.
Does size matter in 2017 now? Because you look at RDA, as you pointed out, 5'9". We've been around Rory McDonald. We've been around Nick Diaz. These guys are enormous guys at 170 pounds. They could be fighting at 185 pounds. They should be fighting at 185 pounds. Nick Diaz has fought at 185 pounds. So what are some of the advantages? Like, why would RDA decide this is the pool that I want to jump into, considering that there's so many giants there?
Well, we know these guys don't always tell the truth, and that is no judgment. You shouldn't need to tell the truth when the job of talking is not to give away your truths. The job is to entertain the audience or make yourself money or whatever. So we should never expect that it's true. But what he indicated was, it's just way too much work for way too little pay. And I like fighting, so let's fight it this way. That doesn't sound amazing.
Do you have to pick the right opponent? Do you think if with the new RDA, this is where I'm going to compete, I'm not just going to take whoever the UFC gives me. I've got to take the fights that I feel that are going to be competitive, and the fights that are going to make me the most money, and fights that I can win at 170 pounds.
That guy should have fought Conor McGregor, man. I know he got injured. There was an amount of injury. But there was talk that if he could have done it, that guy'd be rich now.
Won't he be like?
No.
Isn't that still an option?
No.
Right? It's like, yes, I'm going to go up to 155 pounds. That's gone.
That's gone. McGregor's never going to fight him. That was the big money fight. There's no real fights at 170. He doesn't have a ton of leverage. So in a sense, when you start to think about it, there's a great champion, a great martial artist, a great combat sportsman. And he's like, I've made enough money, but I'm never going to be rich staying here, and I'm harming my body cutting all this weight. It's a ton of work. If I'm going to make this amount, whatever that is, $100,000 to fight, which is not a lot of money to fight, if you do it 3 times a year, we all look at that and go, shit, that'd be pretty good for the rest of us. But for a professional athlete, that's very low. I'm not going to cut all that weight. I'm going to go out and be a martial artist on the night and go do my thing and entertain. But it's tough, man. That is just, what are you going to keep going up in weight? You know, there's a limit. You pointed out Ben Henderson fought Koreshkov. Yeah. We saw that fight. Ben Henderson's a brilliant fighter with some similarities to Rafael dos Anjos, some similarities to him, and he couldn't get in against a guy who knew how to play with footwork and play with the long-range weapons, and those are the challenges RDA will face.
RDA, the former lightweight champion, now moves up to 170 pounds. We will certainly keep our eye on the Brazilian.